In Korea, never acknowledge a man covered in tattoo, because the larger the tattoo area, the higher the status. It's the same in Japan. This man covered in tattoo was the youngest gang leader in Japan, currently 19 years old and already rules a territory in Japan. The local police don't dare to touch him easily. His name is Chinlo. Just a year ago, Chinlo was a nobody with white hair. His father was also involved in gangs. As the story begins, his father's portrait already hanging on the wall. One day, Chinlo was strolling down the street with a few friends. He suddenly saw someone doing flour. Chinlo pretended to go over to buy some flour. Before the other party noticed, he launched a fierce attack. Chinlo actually wanted to rob the other party's money. After getting the money, they thought they could have a big meal tonight. Suddenly, a friend picked up a bag of flour. Chinlo snatched it away and threw it into the sea. Money can be taken, but flour must not be touched. Afterwards, they went through a familiar restaurant. Not long after, another gang leader arrived. His name was Yura. They sat down on both sides and stared at each other for a while. Suddenly, a group of people rushed into outside. This group was there to kill the opposing gang leaders. Chinlo remained unfazed. As the man was about to kill the boss across from him, Chinlo picked up a frying pan and smashed it to death. The gang boss was stunned. He's dead. Chinlo dropped the frying pan. The underling was scared. He quickly ran away with Chinlo. The next day, Yamamura's men found Chinlo and took him to the gang. The boss wanted Chinlo to join his gang, but Chinlo refused. Yamamura gave him a business and told him to think it over. Suddenly, a brother called and told him to run quicker. Chinlo was being chased by a group of people. They were after him because their flour was stolen last night. Soon, Chinlo and his friends were caught. The opposing gang leader also was here. His name was Tianye. The other side wanted Chinlo to pay back the flour money. But Chinlo was just a nobody. Where would he get the money? Especially for the expensive flour money. Without money, I'll sell you abroad. I heard young people's organs are worth a lot overseas. Just as they were about to board the ship, the other party suddenly found Chinlo at Yamamura's business card. Tianye thought Chinlo was with Yamamura, but Chinlo said he wasn't in a gang. Tianye's gang and Yamamura's gang were in an alliance. To be safe, they made a call to confer. Soon, Chinlo was taken home by Yamamura's men. Chinlo met the boss of Yamamura and said nothing. He only asked one question: do you know where to buy Mongolian milk? It was because of this question that Chinlo was instantly moved to tears because he had lacked fatherly love since childhood, and his father had passed away not long ago. At this moment, Chinlong's status officially rose. He joined the village gang and became the adopted son of the village. A year later, Chinlong changed his hairstyle and returned to the familiar restaurant, giving the owner's son a sum of money. This kid is not simple either. You will appear later. Suddenly, Chinlong received a call that someone was causing trouble on his turf. He then went to his hotel, where the opposing gang from Xi'an demanded that he give up some territory to them. After speaking, they were about to leave. People sometimes remain calm, but the more they think, the more they act. Chinlong picked up a wine bottle and smashed on the guy's head, then taught his underwoods a lesson. After everything was done, his own waitress bandaged him up. Chinlong seemed to like this girl, whose name was Xiaomei. Chinlong asked her out. Chinlong learned from Xiaomei that she was still a student, only performing but not selling herself, and working at their hotel just to earn tuition fees. This made Chinlong like her even more. Meanwhile, the person Chinlong had beaten last time, Tianye, demanded that the village give up some territory to him, or it would be hard to get over this matter. For Chinlong, the village directly turned against them, saying if they wanted to fight, bring it on. Tianye was furious. Never casually bully gang members, because they will seek revenge, and not even a deity can stop that. A small gang car was driving on the road, and inside was the local gang leader. Suddenly, two people rushed out from outside and started firing at them. Chinlong protected the boss in time, but the driver in front wasn't so lucky. The driver was hit. After confirming the boss was okay, Chinlong chased after them, but they were already gone. However, his brother died in the car. Chinlong was extremely upset. The gang held a penal for the brother. Chinlong lay in the hospital. The village asked the higher-up boss to help them get revenge. But the higher-up boss didn't allow it and said to let the police handle it. The village went to the hospital to see Chinlong and explained the situation, saying to leave it to the police. But how could Chinlong listen? He wanted to take matters into his own hands to avenge his brother. The boss still wouldn't let him go. That night, he and his men went out to a stroll and arrived at a hotel. Chinlong, dragging his injured leg, also came. When he arrived at the hotel, just as he was about to avenge his brother, suddenly someone appeared from behind and killed the opponent before him. This person was none other than their own second-in-command. To take the blame for the second-in-command, Chinlong told him to leave quickly. Chinlong then stabbed a few more times. Then he quickly ran away. When Tianye arrived, his own man was dead, and the killer was gone. Chinlong went to Xiaomei's house. Xiaomei wanted to clean the bloodstains for him, but Chinlong's thoughts were not so simple. That night, their relationship took another step forward. Chinlong successfully overthrew his master. The next day, Chinlong returned to the gang. Shanku felt proud of what Chinlong had done, but also sad. The next second, the police arrived, and Chinlong was taken away. He silently looked back, and the second-in-command signaled him to take care of himself, the gang, and his godfather. Soon after, the video of Chinlong being captured was quickly posted online for the Shenma Dongzi movie account, and it successfully made it to the top headlines in Japan. Xiaomei was extremely sad. Everyone who knew Chinlong saw this scene. Chinlong was imprisoned for more than 10 years. 14 years later, Chinlong was released. The second-in-command came to pick up Chinlong. Back home, they prepared a big meal, but the boss only drank a glass of wine and left. Chinlong didn't know what was going on. The brothers told Chinlong that the boss had cancer and it was already in the late stage. This wasn't the most fatal thing. 14 years after Chinlong was in prison, the gang also underwent reform. Many people left the gang, and their territory was taken over by others. Chinlong asked them how they made money. They were illegally fishing at sea, relying on catching small shrimps to make a living. They didn't want to work regular jobs. Working was impossible for them, not in this lifetime. So they could only live like this. Xinglong walked down the street, lost and dejected. Suddenly, the former restaurant owner saw him. The owner was very happy to see Xinglong. She also said that Xinglong's friend was working at her restaurant. This person used to be in the gang too, but he had left and now had a daughter. Then, Xinglong learns from his brother's conversation that those who left the gang, according to national regulations, had a hard time for 5 years. They couldn't work, had no bank accounts, no insurance, no home, nothing. After 5 years, only then would the authorities treat you like a normal person. After eating and drinking, Xinglong wanted to pay the bill, but his brother insisted on paying himself. Xinglong didn't understand. After his brother paid the bill, he quickly left. Xinglong asked his brother what was wrong. His brother said if anyone saw him with Xinglong, the authorities would treat him like a criminal, and he would lose his hard-earned job. After saying that, he ran away as if he had seen a ghost. Xinglong sat down sadly. Only the owner was there to comfort him. He drank sadly there. Suddenly, a white-haired man appeared outside. He was very familiar with Xinglong, but Xinglong didn't quite recognize him. The white-haired man said, "It's Xiaoxie, the kid Xinglong gave money to 14 years ago. Unexpectedly, he's grown so much. Now, Xiaoxie has become like Xinglong back then. Even his hairstyle is the same as Xinglong's was." Xiaoxie explained to Uncle Xinglong that their old gangster ways can't be used in public anymore. Instead, they run a club now. When they arrived at the store, they encountered someone causing trouble. Xiaoxie stepped up and with just a few words, resolved the issue. Xiaoxie also said he always admired Uncle Xinglong. After Xinglong went to prison, Xiaoxie grew up and started doing dirty work for Xinglong's gang. Xinglong asked Xiaoxie what kind of dirty work, but Xiaoxie didn't say. Back at the gang, the boss needed to be hospitalized again, and everyone had to chip in 10,000. Xinglong directly took out over 100,000. Then he asked the second in command what dirty work they were doing. Their dirty work was selling flour, and they couldn't make much money just catching shrimp. They went to a place where Xinglong and the second in command got into a fight, but after the fight, they still had to face reality. Xinglong didn't blame the second in command. After all, people need to live. Then a brother. Xinglong found the woman who liked that thing. After getting out of prison, Xiaomei had changed her number. Now, he finally found her. Xinglong chose to wait outside for Xiaomei. When Xiaomei got off work, they finally met after 14 years. Xiaomei told him they shouldn't see each other anymore. Xinglong didn't understand. Xiaomei told Xinglong he had a daughter who was also Xinglong's daughter, but she wouldn't tell him that her father was a gangster. After saying that, she left. Since going to prison, Xinglong didn't expect such a big blow. Meanwhile, Xiaoxie is making a deal with Tianye. His tone made Tianye very unhappy. Then he left. Suddenly, Tianye said Xiaoxie was very much like his father. He hoped Xiaoxie wouldn't end up like his father. Xiaoxie asked what he meant, but Tianye didn't say. Finally, after investigating, Xiaoxie learned that his father was killed by Tia, and his father was the driver who was killed back then. Meanwhile, after Xinglong's continuous effort, the family finally lived together. However, Xinglong did not acknowledge his daughter. With the help of friends, Xinglong also found a job. A colleague knew Xinglong used to be in a gang, happily took a photo, and posted it online. Soon, the photo went viral. Xiaomei came to the company and was fired by the boss because her daughter's father was a gangster. Also, on the friend's side, the bitch posted a photo recklessly. She was due not by her friends. Lost their jobs. This guy went home, and his wife took the kid and left. Xinglong went home, and because of his action, Xiaomei scolded him. Xinglong was alone again. He went to the landlady's place to drink. Xiaoxie told Uncle Xinglong if he found the murderer, he killed his father years ago. Xiaoxie wanted revenge. Xinglong told Xiaoxie to take good care of his mother. Then, he went to the hospital, and his foster father had also died. He now had nothing left to hold on to. Xinglong prepared to leave a message for Xiaomei. He wanted to see Xiaomei and his daughter one last time. After speaking, he went to a place and took out the group of people led by Tianye, who killed Xiaoxie's father. Meanwhile, Xiaoxie was on his day with fever, ready to avenge his father. When he arrived, he saw that his father's killer had already been killed by Uncle Xinglong. Xinglong went to a place to wait for Xiaomei. But it wasn't Xiaomei who came, it was his brother. A knife was still stuck in Xinglong's stomach. The brother blamed everything on Xinglong, but Xinglong didn't blame his brother. Then, Xinglong fell. Xinglong died forever in the sea. Every year on this day, Xiaoxie would come here to see Uncle Xinglong. Xinglong's daughter also. She wanted to know about her father's past. Xiaoxie explained it to her here. The movie ends here. Finally, Brother Shen summed it up in one sentence. In this world, you have to take what you do. This movie actually aims to teach future generations that no matter what, you should always be a good person. Otherwise, it will be too late for regrets.